What really happens when we die? Not in abstract theories. Not in theological frameworks. But in the raw moment, when the heart stops. When your body lies still. When the world fades, and something else begins. Across every continent, every religion, every generation, people are coming back from death with stories that defy logic, but carry an unmistakable ring of truth. They didn't just see a light. They became it. These are the near-death experiences, and what they reveal may shake everything you believe about life, death, and God. This isn't a fringe phenomenon. It's a spiritual avalanche. According to extensive research and Gallup polls, over 20 million people in the US alone claim to have had a near-death experience, NDE. Globally, the number is estimated to be in the hundreds of millions. And despite cultural, religious, or philosophical differences, the core experiences are eerily consistent. Passing through a tunnel. Being enveloped in a warm, loving light. Feeling a peace that transcends words. Seeing deceased loved ones, not as ghosts, but as vibrant beings. Experiencing a panoramic life review. Meeting a divine presence, often described as God or Source. And returning, often reluctantly, transformed forever. Consider Anita Morjani. After a 4-year battle with cancer, she fell into a coma. Her organs were failing. Doctors told her family she had hours to live. But during that coma, she experienced herself as pure, boundless consciousness. She met her late father, felt infinite love, and understood the root of her illness. When she awoke, the cancer began to disappear. Within weeks, she was cancer-free. Coincidence? A miracle? Or did something deeper realign her very soul? Let's address the skeptic in the room. Many try to reduce NDEs to neurological tricks, a dying brain's last gasp. They propose explanations like oxygen deprivation, hallucinations, or a flood of DMT. But these theories fall short when confronted with the evidence. Some of the most compelling NDEs happen during verified clinical death: no heartbeat, no breathing, and a flat EEG, meaning no measurable brain activity. Take the landmark case of Pam Reynolds. During a rare brain surgery, her body temperature was lowered to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius, her heart was stopped, and her brainwaves went completely flat. She was, by every medical definition, dead. Yet, she later gave a detailed account of the procedure. She described the Midas Rex bone saw they used, the sound it made, like a dentist's drill, and the exact words of a conversation between the surgeons, details she had no physical way of knowing. Oxygen deprivation doesn't explain how consciousness can perceive events accurately from a location outside the body. A brain releasing chemicals cannot account for verifiable information obtained while it is offline. This case, and others like it, shook the medical community. Because if consciousness can exist and perceive without a functioning brain, then maybe the brain isn't the creator of consciousness, but more like a receiver, a radio picking up a signal that is broadcast from elsewhere. And if that's true, then everything changes. Those who've been to the edge say the same thing: dying doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a return. People describe a sense of floating, often looking down at their own body with peaceful detachment. An overwhelming feeling of safety and belonging. Entering a tunnel or gateway toward an irresistible light. Being embraced by an infinite presence, radiating pure, unconditional love. Dr. Eben Alexander, a Harvard-trained neurosurgeon and a former materialist, was a staunch skeptic. Then, bacterial meningitis shut down his neocortex, the part of the brain responsible for thought and consciousness. For 7 days, he was in a coma, with virtually zero chance of survival. With his cortex offline, he had no capacity for complex hallucination. Yet he reported a hyperreal journey, flying through realms of impossible color and sound, guided by a being who communicated a simple, profound message. You are loved and cherished. You have nothing to fear. There is nothing you can do wrong. When he woke up, his scientific skepticism had dissolved. Because when death became real, so did a love beyond all understanding. Imagine reliving your entire life, but not from your point of view. You feel the pain you caused others as if it were your own. The joy you gave. The thoughtless words you spoke. The small moments of kindness that you forgot, but which rippled into someone else's healing. This is the life review. And while it sounds like a judgment, nearly every person who experiences it says the same thing. It wasn't God judging me. I was judging myself, from a place of total love and understanding. This review isn't punishment. It's a mirror held up to the soul. And the message is crystal clear. What matters is not what you believed, or what you achieved, but how you loved. When NDE survivors return, they rarely come back the same. And while the overwhelming majority of reported experiences are positive, we must acknowledge that a small fraction are described as distressing or unsettling. Yet even those often lead to profound life changes. The most common after effects are overwhelmingly positive. They lose their fear of death. They walk away from unfulfilling careers, addictions, and toxic relationships. They are pulled toward compassion, service, and a deeper connection to nature. They become less concerned with success, and more with soul. One Vietnam veteran who flatlined after being shot described being embraced by a light so loving, it erased years of PTSD. When he returned, he stopped drinking. He dedicated his life to helping homeless veterans. He said, "I realized the only thing I could take with me was how I treated others." The real miracle of an NDE isn't what happens out there. It's what happens when you come back. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. The core elements of the NDE, the loss of ego, a sense of timelessness, union with the divine, are also the hallmarks of other profound mystical states reported by advanced meditators in deep states of samadhi, shamans journeying with sacred plants, individuals in spontaneous spiritual awakenings. The language may vary, but the core experience is uncannily the same. A dissolving of the separate self. A merging with an infinite and loving intelligence. A direct encounter with what can only be called the sacred. It's as if the veil between worlds thins, and for a moment, we remember what we've always been. So maybe death is just one of the ways in. And maybe life can be one too. One of the most striking reports from NDEs is this: the God people meet is not religious. It's not male or female. It's not Christian, Muslim, Hindu, or Buddhist. It doesn't care about dogma or denomination. It cares about the state of your heart. Over and over, people describe this presence as a field of living awareness. A being so intimate and vast that it knows your soul more deeply than you do. It doesn't judge. It understands. And it radiates a truth that is not made of rules, but of love. This God doesn't demand worship. It invites you to remember who you truly are. Here's the final twist. What if this, right now, is the near-death experience? What if the person you think you are, with all its struggles and distractions, is just the dream? And death is the moment you finally wake up? But here's the gift. You don't have to die to remember. You can choose to live with the clarity of someone who has already been to the other side. To live with love at the center of your choices. To forgive what's behind you. To cherish the stillness inside you. To become, here and now, the person you were always meant to be. Near-death experiences aren't about the end. They're about the beginning. They crack open the illusion. They shatter the fear. They remind us that what we truly are cannot die. So maybe the real question isn't, what happens after we die? Maybe it's what will we do now? Knowing that love is the only thing that lasts. If this message stirred something in you, don't ignore it. Maybe your soul is remembering. Maybe it's your turn to come back. But awake. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring what most people are too afraid to talk about. And remember, you don't need to stop your heart to start your soul.